What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. This is the first video I'm filming after my short Thanksgiving Day break, and I hope that everyone had a good holiday, ate lots of good food, and got really fat like I did. I got some vintage collection sales. I haven't done one in a little while because, as you guys remember, before I left town, I did a Patreon vote, and they voted for a what to buy video instead of a TVC video with my remaining timeline before I took off out of town. So I wanted to cover the vintage collection. We've got some good ones here. Let's go ahead and dig right in. I've got three different sales that all happened within the last few days for the Mint and Sealed Box Toys R Us exclusive Empire Strikes Back All-Terrain Armored Transport, AT. So this was probably the best deal of the bunch. It was at auction, and it was also probably the cleanest of the bunch too. So it's really interesting to see the price points and how they vary all over the map. But three of them did sell. This is the first one at auction. One bid, $515 plus $70 shipping. So let's call that $585 before sales taxes. But this one looked to be super clean, very nice condition. Mint and sealed box for the Empire Strikes Back packaging. Here's one that was in really kind of rough condition relatively versus the first one, but you can see all the kind of scuffing and things like that on the outside of the package. So it was by no means clean, but it did sell in a buy it now situation for $785. So pretty dramatic price difference. It was free shipping. So $785 versus this one that sold for $585. And then the third one also was very clean, probably pretty comparable to the first one I just showed you. Same packaging, same item, very, very clean. It even has an outer shipper case that he was going to send it in, free shipping, and that one sold for $800. So be careful out there. You can see a little bit of edge wear in the upper right-hand corner right here. So I would still say that the one that sold the cheapest was the best deal, which is kind of interesting. So, but this one again did sell for $800 free shipping. This one sold for $785 free shipping, and then that one sold for $585 in an auction, including shipping. So just kind of all over the map in terms of the price for that bad boy. But try to be patient. They're obviously out there when three of them have sold in very quick succession. I got a couple of different 3-packs before we start digging into some of the other vintage collection items. The first one is an Android set, and this one includes C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewbacca. This is a Target exclusive. That one sold for $125 free shipping. And then this one was down in Australia, the Imperial Forces set, which I find this one to be the hardest to find in good condition with Bosk, IG-88, and the Hoth Snowtrooper. But this one did sell down in Australia. It was listed for 295 Australian dollars. The best offer that was accepted on that was $290. So the seller didn't come off very much, plus shipping on top of that. So that equates to about 190 US plus shipping on it. So that's a pretty hefty price, but admittedly it was in really good shape. I think if you're patient, especially if you're in the US, you can probably pick it up for, you know, I'd say 150 bucks or so, maybe even cheaper if the auction's starting below $100. But max to me, I would pay would be about 150 bucks on this one. But admittedly, again, it was in very clean condition, and I find this one to be the toughest one of the 3-packs from the original TVC Target exclusives. All right, let's dig into some original TVC 1.0. We're going to start off with some foil card backs for the most part. The first one is a US card for Boba Fett foil Ultimate Galactic Hunt with the free Boba Fett offer on the front. That one sold in a buy it now for $123. I think that's actually a pretty good deal. It was in pretty clean shape overall. One little tiny crease that's barely noticeable on the racetrack, which the seller was kind enough to show. But as you can see, it's very, very faint. You can hardly even see it there. So this is probably an 85 grade, but a very clean example of the foil. Here is the regular non-foil, but this is the Canadian example of the Boba Fett, and we all know the story on these by now, but the early Canadian examples with the free rocket-firing Boba Fett offer had the air with saying Boba Fett instead of Boba Fett, and you know, there's like maybe 15 or so that have that error. So this is the Canadian for Boba Fett. That one sold for, up in Canada by Coldbridge Store. I've bought from that seller before. Always has really nice Canadian TVC. So you might want to go check them out on eBay. But they have just an endless supply of really nice TVC 1.0 Canadian cardbacks. This one sold for 270 Canadian, which is 198.50 US. That's a pretty good deal there. Here is a foil Ultimate Galactic Hunt Canadian Darth Sidious. So you can see there it's got the multi-language French language on the back there. So tougher to find the foils on the Canadian cardbacks. It wasn't even advertised as such, but it was up in Canada, so I think people put two and two together. They were able to figure out that code that they stole with the Bothans. Not terribly tough to tell. All you got to do is look in the upper left-hand corner for the age Idadi, and then on the back, it's got the the big black bars with the multi-language on it. So it's pretty easy to spot the Canadian foils. But in general, they're tougher to find. This one did sell for $250 Canadian dollars, which is 183 US dollars and change. And next up, I've got two different Clone Commander Cody foils, one US, which is this one, and then one Canadian foil. So here is the US version foil cardback. That one sold in an auction, only one bid, for $197 plus $8.55 shipping. Pretty good deal there. I've seen them sell anywhere from $185 up to about $225. So that's kind of right in the middle in terms of this Canadian foil. Really good shape overall, just based on the limited photos there. Maybe some slight edge wear to it, but pretty clean. And again, it sold for $197. And then here was one. This is the Canadian example. This one was advertised as the Canadian example, and it was listed for $140, and the best offer accepted on that was $120. So I thought that was a good deal. Again, it had some edge wear to it. It wasn't perfect. You can see on the bottom on the back there, just some very light edge wear to it. So, let's call this, 80 plus condition, but tough to find the Canadian examples. For every one Canadian example for these early TVC, 10 US cards were produced. So about 10% versus the US. So a lot tougher to find that one. But, again, from the front, it displays a lot nicer. It's just on the back, you can see some light edge wear to it, but pretty cool example. And again, $120, can't beat that price. That's a pretty good price on that. Jango Fett Unpunched US cardback. This one sold in an auction, $97. So that one continues to drop like a rock. It was kind of $130 to $150 even here recently. But this US Unpunched cards did sell for $97 plus $8 shipping. So slightly over $100 on that one. Clone Commander Gree. This one was listed for $130, unpunched as well, US card. Very clean, just some light edge wear in the lower right-hand corner for VC43. But anyway, it was listed for $130, and the best offer accepted on that one was $115 free shipping. So, I remember when this one, during the height of, the collectibles boom, this was going for close to $200 unpunched. So this one has really dropped like a rock, $115. Good deal on that one, if you ask me. Next up is still a Sean. This one seems to be kind of holding its own in terms of the price. This was an unpunched US cardback. I've seen a couple of examples that kind of hovered near $100, but it seems like it's bounced off those lows a little bit, and I continue to see them regularly sell for $125 to $140. This one sold for $140 plus another $10 shipping, so let's call that $150 for a really clean example of the US cardback, but still a Sean with the prototype Fett offer sticker. Pretty good deal there. Here was a Shock Trooper. I think I sent this one in a Buy It Now alert to my Patreon supporters, which I don't know if I can really continue to do that because eBay shut down my affiliate program because they think I'm a scammer. No idea why, but they just shut it down. No explanation, no email explaining it why. It's just very bizarre. But I got a workaround for the videos, the what to buy videos with a friend of mine. But the Buy It Now alerts on Patreon, I guess I'll just have to do it without any kind of eBay affiliate program. So I don't know what happened, but that's what they did. But hopefully before that got shut down, hopefully one of y'all were able to pick it up. This Shock Trooper I thought was a pretty good deal. It was unpunched US cardback. Really beautiful example. $140 free shipping on that one. I think that's worth every penny to me. Really clean cardback overall. Next up, the Sand Trooper. I've talked to a few folks who are looking for an unpunched Sand Trooper. I didn't see this one, or I would have alerted you guys to it, but a pretty clean example of the Dirty Paint Apps Sand Trooper VC112 unpunched. But I've heard from like 2 or 3 of you this, I can't find this one. It's really hard to find. And it seems to be holding its own on price. And this was a very clean example. $149.50 free shipping on that one. This one was selling as high as $200 ungraded, and I've seen as high as $300 graded for this one. So that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Only one bid on it, but $149.50 took that home. Beautiful example, but it does seem like the Dirty Paint Apps version of VC112 commands a pretty significant premium versus the all-white armor version of VC112. Next up, Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath VC115. This was an unpunched US card. It looked really clean. Looked very, very clean. Maybe some very light edge wear on the back, but I mean, this is easily an 85 or 85 plus condition. $81. $81 plus $8 shipping. I mean, this one was approaching $200, $175 to $200 last year, and you can cut that price in half now. It's just unbelievable how much that one has dropped. Just given how cool it is. I mean, I love this one. I love the kind of like the shocking look and all the lightning around Vader there with kind of a skull thing going on with his helmet. So very cool figure, and $81 plus $8 shipping is a really good price. Let's dig into some of these. Let's dig into some of these AFA graded examples. I don't know what's going on with some of these prices. Now, this one was listed as an AFA uncirculated 8.0. This was not an uncirculated. You can see very clearly on the label, it's just an 8.0 for General Grievous. You could buy one of these yourself for $150 and send it in to be graded, and chances are you're going to get an 8.0 or higher if you're very careful about which one you pick out on, that's ungraded on eBay. But 8.0, again, it's not uncirculated as was labeled in the the title for the listing, but it sold for $326, which is way too high. Do not pay that price. Do not pay that. Now, if it's an uncirculated 9.0 or 9.25, then maybe. But $330 or $326 for this one in an 8.0 grade, where it's it's circulated. It's not uncirculated. Just buy one yourself, and for $100 to $150 and get it graded yourself. But $326 is too much on that one. This is another one where I question what people are thinking. I would not pay this price. This is not uncirculated. It's an AFA 9.0, and it's from Power Droid, which he always has really high grade TVC 1.0, and it is unpunched. Admittedly, it's tough to find this one unpunched, VC16, but it sold for $700, which is a big number, plus another $19 shipping. So, admittedly, again, Obi-Wan VC16 unpunched is very tough to find, and even ungraded examples, I've seen them sell for as high as $400 to $450. So to me, this one's actually not as crazy, believe it or not, as the 8.0 General Grievous, but it's still a really high number. But somebody was willing to pay it, $700 on that one. Here was the other big surprise. Admittedly, it's a 9.5 grade for the original issue Ahsoka. That one sold for $1,000, believe it or not. So big number, but again, how many of these in a 9.5 grade are there for the original VC 102 Ahsoka? I can't believe there's a lot of those on the AFA population report, but $1,000 is a lot of money, just given how much this one has come down, and the fact that you could get this one ungraded for, I don't know, $250 to $350 and roll the dice. But I don't think you would get a 9.5. It's very tough to do that. You'd have to go with a case fresh example that hasn't been touched at all, because just the microscopic scratches on the blister will knock it down to a 9.0 or less, and it almost has to be perfect to get a 9.5 from AFA. So but $1,000 did take that one home. I just was kind of shocked in the current market environment that somebody was willing to pay that. And then finally, I did want to show you the SDCC Revenge of the Jedi Death Star box set. This one included everything, including the mouse droid, including Salacious Crumb, and obviously the Revenge of the Jedi figures, were all included in there. So just a beautiful set. The box was pretty tatty, as you can see. It's not terrible, but it did have some creases and scratches and things. But that one did sell in an auction for $1,899. Only one bid on it, though. So $1,900 plus another $110 shipping. Let's call it a little over $2,000. Took home the complete SDCC Death Star box set with the Salacious Crumb and mouse droid. So another data point there for those of you out there still looking for that one. But that's kind of actually, that's probably pretty fair. I mean, I've seen them sell recently without the Salacious Crumb or the mouse droid, sell for $1,200 to $1,300 easily with the box, but just missing those two most expensive figures. But so $1,900 plus another $110 shipping is probably about right, really, if not a pretty good deal in the current market environment, just given how expensive the mouse droid and Salacious Crumb are. But I would wager that this set will probably drop in price a little bit, just given that they're re-releasing the Salacious Crumb here pretty soon on a very similar kind of smaller card back. So anyway, it's good to be back. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tomorrow I'll try to do another what to buy video and kind of update people there. And thank you as always for watching, and I will be back soon.